How's it going, YouTube? My name is Ari and welcome to Blue Lion Finance, a channel all about investing as well as my very own personal journey to amassing $100,000 with my Vanguard brokerage account. Now, as a quick update, that account is sitting at $73,828.39. It is up by $155.18 since Monday's video. Now, that may not seem like a whole heck of a lot to all of you, but I have to share with you during days worth of market volatility like we've been seeing, I will certainly take any and all gains. Now, all of this market volatility, whether it be from inflationary scares or the Delta variant, I can only share with you there is not a whole lot to worry about over the long run, which brings me to today's video, which we're going to be talking all about Apple. It is a stock opportunity that I believe not only has the power to double, triple, or quadruple, but will certainly just be the stock opportunity for any and all investors, whether you're a dividend investor or an investor looking for a solid growth opportunity to invest in over the next decade. So a video you will not want to miss out on. Make sure you watch it through and through to the very end. Just before we actually get started, go ahead, tap on that thumbs up button for me. It certainly helps me in growing the Blue Lion Finance channel and getting the word out there. If you personally have not already subscribed, go ahead, tap on that subscribe button for me while you're at it. I not only want you along this journey with me, but I want each and every one of you taking advantage of the One Hope Wines gift card giveaway that I have underway right now. One lucky winner is going to be receiving that $50 One Hope Wines gift card the moment this channel crosses the 1,000 subscriber mark. Now, YouTube, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get right to it. So with the cat already being let out of the bag, Apple certainly doesn't need any sort of big introduction. I am positive that the vast majority of you are actually watching this very video off of an Apple device, as it's being filmed off of an Apple device, which certainly speaks volumes to the company that we are talking about. Now, Apple is the world's most dominant company when it comes to revenue generation, which we're going to get into in a hot second here, but it is also the world's most valuable company with a market cap of $2.44 trillion. Yes, that's trillion with a T. That is absolutely insane to think about. A matter of fact, Apple is so valuable that it takes up about 40% worth of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway portfolio. And when Warren Buffett sold shares of Apple in late 2020, it actually became one of his biggest regrets in terms of his investment career. Take a look at this.
Apple, it's got a fantastic manager. Tim Cook was underappreciated for a while. He's one of the best managers in the world. And I've seen a lot of managers. And he's got a product that people absolutely love. There's an installed base of people, and they get satisfaction rates of 99%. And I get the figures from the Furniture Mart as to what's being sold. And if people come in and they want an Android phone, they want an Android phone. If they want Apple, they want an Apple phone. You can't sell them the other one. I mean, the product is it's an incredible product. It's a huge bargain to people. I mean, the part it plays in their lives is huge. I use it as a phone, but I'm probably the only guy in the country. You know, maybe some descendant of Alexander Graham Bell's doing the same thing. But it is indispensable to people, and you know, it costs. You know, car costs $35,000, and I'm sure with some people, if you asked them whether they had to give up their Apple or give up their car, you know, and really make the choice for the next 5 years, you know, who knows what they do. But it is, and we got a chance to buy it, and I sold some stock last year, although our shareholders still had their percentage interest go up because we repurchased shares. But that was probably a mistake. In fact, Charlie, in his usual low-key way, let me know that you thought it was a mistake too, didn't Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you have it from Warren Buffett himself, talking about how selling Apple was a mistake of his, how Charlie Munger even disagreed with Warren Buffett's move to sell Apple. However, Warren Buffett mentioned a couple of things I wanted to point out, and that being that Apple has an indispensable product. Now, that means a lot coming from Warren Buffett, but he also mentioned Apple's brand and how important their branding is, because if somebody's walking in to buy a new phone, they go into that store, they're already walking in to buy an Apple device. You can't just pick up an Android and try to sell them the Android. They're already sold on Apple, which actually brings me to a survey that was recently conducted in the United States where 7,000 teenagers in the United States were surveyed about the devices that they're using, and they found that 88% of teenagers in the United States are currently using an Apple device, and more so, 90% of those teenagers are going to look to Apple for their new cell phone. Now that is absolutely insane when you think about it, because these teenagers today are the next generation worth of consumers, meaning if they are already hooked on Apple right now, they are only going to continue to be hooked on Apple come the future. And if absolutely none of that does it for you, then perhaps taking a look at Apple's recent quarterly earnings report will, because Wall Street had expectations that Apple would bring in
$73.3 billion
worth of revenue, and they had Tim Cook laughing all the way to the bank as Apple brought in $81.41 billion worth of revenue just in the third quarter alone. Now that is absolutely baffling to think about, and when you compare it to other companies, you will just not find companies that are bringing in over $80 billion of revenue in just one quarter. That is insane, and I only foresee more growth, of course, to come when it comes to Apple. Now, what happened when Apple reported those quarterly earnings is their stock actually dipped. Now, that is exactly where I went in to dollar cost average my way into growing my position with Apple just a tad bit more, but I want to get into that in a second because of course, there is more to talk about in breaking down some of Apple's numbers. We can see that their leading source of revenue generation is stemming from iPhone sales. Now that came in at $39.57 billion. That's followed by sales of services coming in at about $17 billion. Then we have other products like their wearables coming in at $8.7 billion, Mac sales coming in at $8.2 billion, and last but not least, we have the revenue coming in from iPad sales at $7.37 billion. Now, each one of these categories is up by 12% or more in terms of year-over-year growth. So certainly Apple is growing. They're continuing to do a standout job. Now, in zooming in on one of their smaller scale products, we have AirPods. AirPods are bringing in a hefty amount of revenue. Now you have to take a look at this graph where it is depicting the revenue that is being brought into Apple, and you can see that AirPod sales alone is outbeating the revenue flowing into Twitter, coming into Square, and they are going head to head with the revenue coming into Uber. Now that is just talking about AirPod sales alone, which is again just baffling. And in even more exciting news, Apple has again announced more share buybacks, which is incredibly important for investors in Apple because when a company buys shares back, it ensures that the market is not diluted. And of course, that drives the value of the company up even further. Now, Apple has been buying shares back for the last handful of quarters. I'm absolutely a fan of them doing so. Currently, I own 65 total shares of Apple. That is roughly $10,000 vested in Apple, and I'm looking to drive those numbers up to 100 shares worth of Apple. That is my next big Apple milestone. Now, for all of you thinking about getting invested in Apple, it certainly has the Blue Lion Finance stamp of approval on it, not to mention Warren Buffett's stamp of approval on it as well. Now, Apple's current share price is sitting around $145 to $147 per share, but analysts are expecting the stock share price to go up with high targets of $190 and a median target of $165. So certainly room to grow. Now, I will be continuing to dollar cost average my way in, growing my Apple position as mentioned to about 100 shares. Now, if you liked what you heard, you learned something new, you're gonna potentially be investing in Apple, you just have thoughts on Apple, go ahead, drop those comments below. I'd absolutely love to know. And of course, go ahead, tap on that thumbs up button for me. It helps me in growing the Blue Lion Finance channel. Now, I'd love to have you along for the journey, so don't forget, right before we sign off here, to go ahead and tap on that subscribe button for me while you're at it. Now, YouTube, until the next video, I will see you all there.
I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.